Right. Let's go to files. Right. With files, there are actually in files, there are theory concepts that are as important as the syntax and the logic. Most of the difficulties students face in files are related to not knowing those theory concepts. And we need to understand what are files, what we need to write to files, how to read data from a file, and so many things like this. The code might change from language to another, but the concepts are the same. So first, why do we need to store data in files? Why we need to store data in files? Because we need to keep the data. If you have data about students, 1,000 students in an institution, or a data about 500,000 customers in your bank, you must keep them saved. When you run your program, you read data from those files, permanent data in the files or databases, stored on disk. This is called persistent data. ايش يعني persistent data؟ يعني data is available before you run the program and after you run the program because they are stored in files. Usually when you start your program, you open those files and play with the data, make changes, make additions, make remove, add, do whatever you want, and then you save all the changes. Next time you start the file with the fresh data. This is called persistent data. This is one thing. Second thing, how the operating system really looks at files. The operating system considers your file as sequence of bytes. يعني bytes. It could bytes بس هاي هي 1 million bytes, 2,000 bytes, 3,000 bytes, 5,000 bytes, it depends. طيب. Why we say operating system? Because when you read from files, files are available in the disk of your computer, and the computer has an operating system, and usually these tasks are left to the operating system, not to Java. Yani the operating system will be working with Java when you read data from the disk and this one. The operating system can know when the file ends. ليش? Because at the end of the file characters, there will be what we call end of file character or marker. شو يعني end of file character or marker؟ يعني بيكون في character at the end of the file tells us خلاص no more data. This is called end of file character or end of file marker. End of file character or end of file marker. وفي الويندوز كنترول زي. في الماك واللينكس ما بعرف، نسيت شو هم، بعرف بس نسيت شو هم. بس احنا مش لازم نعرفه يعني لانه the operating system can tell us about the end of the file. So this is called end of file marker. So يعني if you are reading your file in a loop, you can read the file while no more data, if you recall from C++ code, until no more data. So yeah, it's a null terminator like an area, okay? Like a null terminator. It's Control Z in Windows, تمام؟ طيب. هلا the operating system tells the Java program that خلاص no more data. When it reaches the end of file character or marker. ماشي الحال؟ طيب. خلينا نكمل نشوف الموضوع. هلا there are two types of streams when you work with files. طبعا ايش ستريم اول؟ لازم نجاوب على هالسؤال. احنا we don't work with files directly. يعني Java will not go and open the file from the disk. Hey, GitHub, I need your data. No. You work with files using input or output streams. Input or output streams. those input and output streams, they handle the file. طبعا input stream when you want to read data from an existing file. Input يعني you are reading or getting data from an existing file. Output stream is when you are sending data to a file. تمام؟ Output stream. لا مش system in. File output stream, file input stream. Okay. طيب. هلا you work with files through streams. طيب هو عندنا نوع واحد من streams؟ No. We have two major types of streams. Streams that are, yes, like off the stream and if stream. We have exactly the same thing here in Java. File input stream and file output stream. طيب. Data can be written to files or read from files in two major different ways. First one is bytes. يعني you read bytes. You don't care about the data in the file. The data could be a video data, could be audio data, could be image data, could be text, could be anything. All the data are finally stored in bits and bytes. صح ولا لا? This is what we call like binary files. Binary files like videos. All are bytes, bytes, bytes. طبعا you need a video player to play it, but you can open it into using a file in Java, but you cannot play it unless you have video player. Or audio files. You are reading or writing bytes. Bytes is anything. Even text is bytes. Images, videos, طيب, this is byte streams. We call them byte-based streams. The second type of streams is character-based streams. This one is exclusive only when you read or write characters. The second one, only when you read or write what? Characters. Text only. If it's not a text, this is not the one you need. Only like notepad. String is text, ya Abdullah. String is text. Only text. Characters, when we say characters, we don't mean character data type. We mean the characters ASCII or Unicode character. Does that make sense? Your video file contains anything, but your text file only contains those Unicode characters. And if it's none of them, this is not a string. ماشي الحال؟ طيب. So we have two major types of streams. Bytes-based streams and character-based streams. Character-based streams are byte-based streams. But byte-based streams are not character-based streams. You know that because everything at the end is what? Is characters, and everything is at the end is binary representation. The first type is more general and you're going to need it a lot. طيب. Let's talk about few things in Java. مش راح نستخدمهم كتير, but it's good to know them. By the way, when you run a program, Java opens 3 streams. What are they? من امتى ما صار ما عمل ولا مرة فتحنا ستريم. لا, هو Java بيعمل 3 streams. What are they? You remember when you type, when you say scanner, new scanner, system.in. Okay, this is the input stream. You are telling Java, my input stream will be from keyboard. You remember? The standard input stream when you run a Java program is keyboard. طيب. This is system in. System out. When you output anything, system.out.print, it goes to the screen. So the standard output goes to the screen. The standard input goes comes from the keyboard. صح ولا لا? You can change this. You can change the input to be from a file or from a tape or from the internet connection. The output you can change it. System.in is the standard input. System.out is the standard output. طيب ايش كمان عندنا؟ في عنا system error. You know what happens when you see an error message? You see the message on the screen. Any error يا عيسى. Any error, not necessarily an exception. Any error goes to the screen. بس على فكرة in real businesses it does not go to the screen. ما في واحد قاعد على السكرين بيشوف errors. In big businesses and real environments, any error message goes to a file. And this file is monitored by system administrators. And the error is logged in time and seconds and many other contents. And this is kept as a file, so we know what happened that day, what happened this day. You get my point يا شباب؟ يعني مش راح يكون على السكرين، ممكن نبعت الايرور stream to a file. This is how it should happen. And that should be kept as a backup, and we know what happens this day and that day. This is not a log file. Log file for all transactions of the system. But error file is only for errors, يعني you can see. طيب. Can we change this? Yeah, we can. ببساطة, we can do this. How? أيوة بس هيك. Don't worry about the syntax a lot يا شباب. What I need you to know from this slide is that we can change it. شوفوا هون أول واحدة أول line. System set in a new file input stream. خلاص صار الانبوت تبع السيستم مش الكيبورد. صار contents of this file can if you do read here. If you do read, you can read characters. Don't worry about the syntax. بس you change system set in. طبعا هلا كبرتوا and you know system is a class. Set in is a method. صح ولا لا? Right? Does that make sense? Is a static method set in. Right? تمام. Okay. هيك غيرنا الستاندرد input from keyboard to a file. في بفرز يا ستيل في بفرز يعني عبده. اوكي طيب هلا how to change the output stream. Maybe you want all the output to go to a file. You just make file output stream. It's like office stream. You know office stream in C++? New file output stream. System set out. بنقول له ابعتهم على الفايل هذا. Don't worry about print stream. بس هلا بدي اياكم تعرفوا system set out you set the standard output. System set in you set the standard input. Don't worry about the objects here in the middle. Don't worry about them. Believe me يعني. تمام؟ I'll explain them يعني more. هلا الايرور كمان الايرور we can system set error to this file. بس خلاص. This is how we change them. Is this all? لا لسه في كتير قصص. هلا now let's see this slide. I need to explain it using full screen. هلا all the packages, all the classes you need when you work with files in Java, حتى exceptions, are all available in the Java I/O package. وعلى فكرة there are so many classes بس مش اللي بس راح أحكي عنهم. So many classes in Java to help you do output or input. ركزوا معنا شوي. We have three types of output and input streams in Java. First one, object output stream and object input stream. Remember يا شباب هاي آخر مرة راح أحكيها. When you say output, you are writing data to a file. يعني sending. When you say input, يعني you are reading data from a file. هلا object output stream والله بتخليك تكتب objects في الفايل. object عادي. object employee, course, student, class with all its data can be stored or encoded الكلمة الصحيحة. Object input stream it allows you to read objects from a file. Object بنرجعه لحالته object. Employee, person, student, circle, whatever object we studied in this course. ونحكي بعد شوي فيها. والله كويس. يعني هلا اذا عندي object له names وله array of attributes وله you can store it in a file. That's fine. عادي. Easy. Easiest even. طيب. So object is only to write and read what? Only to write what? Read objects. النوع الثاني اللي هو الفايل ريدر والفايل رايتر. هدول لايش يا شباب؟ هدول للتكست or characters. Characters text. File reader to read input from a file. File writer to write characters to a file. هدول لايش النوع الثاني؟ للكاركترز. النوع اللي بالنص اللي هو جنرال للبايتس. anything is bytes. يعني حتى لو object is bytes والcharacters is bytes. And by the way, if you want to output or input objects, you still need to use the file input stream and file output stream. Even if you want to use characters, you can use this. يعني هم زي ما تقول layer فوق البايتس. هم they know how to talk. The object output stream will talk to the file output stream. ويتعاملوا مع بعض وبيعطيه الاوبجكت وبيخزنه كاوبجكت. الكاركتر اوتبوت ستريم اور انبوت ستريم تتعامل مع الفايل اوتبوت ستريم. هذا الزلمه ما بيعرف الا فايل الا بايتس. هدول بيعرفوا يتعاملوا مع كاركترز، هدول بيعرفوا يتعاملوا مع objects. So three major types of streams: objects, character, and bytes. Does that make sense? Objects, characters, and bytes. Does that make sense? The file usually interacts with the lowest level, which is file input stream and file output stream.